Thanks for joining me today, Ant.
Oh, we're rolling.
We're on.
Good to be here, bro.
How long has it been now since we've been chatting?
I think it's over a year. Yeah, I was thinking about it this morning. The first time we met, I think you came to mine and gracefully dropped off some beef tallow, which I appreciate. But yeah, we were sort of in the DMs. How did we connect? How did we follow each other?
Yeah, I think it was... Oh,
Just
you must
socials.
have seen it, yeah. I reckon you commented on one of my videos.
Yeah. Just saw something, felt the fire. Yeah.
If you were like me, voicing your opinion, speaking your mind and expressing emotion wasn't a big part of your childhood. Your first exposure to anger was an unhealthy one. Anger led to conflict, so you avoided it, which led to temporary peace in the home. For a long time, it served you. You weren't taught how to deal with it. Instead, you were rewarded by avoiding it. So my opening question to you is, what is suppressing your emotion and truth costing you?
Bro, you dropped me into a portal.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that was 68 weeks ago.
68 weeks ago, bro.
I think.
Yeah, but
Maybe
it's so relevant. Like, it's pretty much the message that I envision myself telling on the stages is like it sort of encapsulates that. But I think suppressing your truth and emotion, it costs you everything, man. And I think until you live a life of quiet suppression and quiet desperation and it eats you up, like your soul's so suppressed and it's just like you wake up and you just feel like a shell of yourself. Like
Talk about it eating you up, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well,
Is that just in general?
Just in general, but there's like definitely moments that come off me. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like I remember I wrote a post and it was a selfie of me in the mirror and I titled it The Mirror Selfie, and it was a time, I think the last year of uni, and I just remember I was hanging around certain people and, you know, the same old thing of just go out, smash your body with alcohol and do a bit of like party substances. And I think it was BTV came back from like a 3-4 day bender and I just looked in the mirror and I just had to take a photo. Didn't think about it because I was just like, this is so far away from who I know I am and the truth of who I am. And I was just like, I'm done hiding, done suppressing.
The mirror selfie. A literal snapshot of who we think we are. A moment in time. This one was taken in 2018, right after a 3-day booze bender. Sunburnt, hungover, numb. Most mornings I stare in the mirror and not recognise the guy looking back. He looked fit, seemed busy. He posted like he was thriving, but inside his mind was starving for stillness. I typed this in on Google, by the way.
Really?
Just then. I don't know if you noticed me doing that.
I noticed you typing, but that just popped up.
Well, yeah, I typed in mirror selfie and it popped up. One no one else knew he was fighting. People would compliment him, say things like, "You're killing it, bro. You got it all together," but none of it landed. It's a pretty long post. Until slowly they started to sound familiar, less like lies, more like truth. Why am I even sharing this? Because the story you tell yourself day in, day out shapes the person staring back at you in the mirror. Your story is your reflection. Tell it wisely.
Yeah, bro. Big challenge for me is like when I first started posting more on socials, it's like you get a lot of praise and a lot of people being like, oh, you're trying something, fuck yeah. And then it sort of withers away and then people realize, oh, he's still doing that thing. And then you're being more honest and you're being more open and you're sharing more of who you are in your life and people start to praise you even more. But then it got to a point where I was like, I couldn't receive it. Like, I don't know if you call it like a self-worth wound, but I think I was also presenting just like the surface and the highlights of myself. Because, I guess I was carrying a lot of like shame around what was really going on beneath the surface. And I was just like, oh, you know, I'm getting praise for what I'm posting, so I should just keep rolling with that.
Was that back then even?
Yeah, back then. And even sometimes now, bro, like I'll go through seasons where I feel really good with what I'm putting out and what I'm sharing and what I'm creating. And then there's like almost a part of me that's not getting the attention it needs. And then it starts to like build up and starts to become a thing where I'm like, oh, maybe I need to look into that.
What are you feeling when you feel that, like the attention it needs? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, I think it's so easy to get swept up in the day-to-day grind, whether it's like, for example, if you're going all in on YouTube at the moment, which I know you are, if you're putting, 99% of your time and energy and attention to that, there's also some buckets in your life that are getting neglected. And until they go bone dry and they're not getting the attention they need, that's when it sort of hits you in the face. So for me, it's like been seasons of like neglecting mental health, relationships, my relationship with my parents, your close friends that you consider brothers. It's like, And I mean, that's the ongoing balance of life.
I heard someone say the only real battle in life is between hanging on and letting go.
Say that again for me.
The only real battle in life is between hanging on and letting go.
Oh, yeah, this is relevant. Yeah. I think why that's relevant for me is I've been having conversations around death, life and death, because I think metaphorically for me, like I've experienced death in the sense of death of a relationship, like an intimate relationship. And this is the first time I've experienced grief as like a core emotion. And and I was having a conversation with another guy who's very like Rick Rubin inspired, and he was saying that, entrepreneurship or like anything we do in life, it's just constant seasons of life and death. Like you had a death of the 9-to-5 identity, death of the real estate persona, and I've had my own version of like death of being in a relationship, and that comes with all its grief and all the emotions with that as well.
Talk about that.
Oh, yeah, this one's still raw, but I think
How long ago was it?
We were together for 2 years, but the breakup itself, like 4 weeks now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that recent. Okay.
Yeah, so fresh, but it was a long burn. So like 12 months, just, consistent stress and battling at each other and not feeling fully heard and fully understood. And these are all the ingredients that people say, that's the core of a healthy relationship.
Is there a regret that it took that long?
If you ask me around the time of the breakup, yeah, a lot of regret, a lot of blame towards myself, a lot of lack of compassion towards myself. But I think now, because I've turned that corner, and again, because I've given the attention that experience needed, and like a lot of sitting in my living room, just laying on the floor, just fucking crying, looking like a mess, and going through that and processing that, I think now turning the corner, I'm like genuinely really grateful for it. Like really, really grateful, wish nothing but the best for her. And like, I want her to be happy and I want myself to be happy. And I think that's sort of the missing piece of the equation I stopped saying to myself. Is
so you weren't happy?
Yeah, I wasn't happy.
You still?
Now? Happy. Yeah. And I think I was telling you this off camera. Woke up this morning for the first time in a long time, placed my feet on the ground, touched the grass, just not staring into the sun, but just like, glancing towards the sun. I'm like, I feel really fucking good. Haven't felt this in a while.
How do you think you got there?
Again, going back to the opening of our conversation is like allowing myself to, I guess, a bit of wallow, a bit of self-pity, but then after that, just like really getting to come to acceptance of, that version of me in the relationship was just doing the best he could. Very innocent in the way I showed up. I was only coming from what I knew. Yeah.
You described it as self-induced in that post. The story you made the other day.
Yeah.
What did you mean when you meant that?
I say self-induced, and I say it and I language it in that sense because I remember the start of the relationship. I was going through my like single bachelor phase, and I was just like casually seeing people, and it was all fun and games, and it was all that. Like if you were to see how I interacted with women, it was very surface level, and I was never like opening myself up to commitment and something serious. But it sort of switched the night I met Maisie, my ex-partner. I was working with a friend, and she was like, "Why have you never been in a serious committed relationship before?" And I think I was like 25 around that time, and I was like, "Damn, I actually don't know." And then I thought about it and pondered it on that night, and I was like, "There's a lot of fear. Like, there's a lot of fear of like, I really have to be willing to expose all sides of myself, and I never done that with a woman." And then going into that relationship, like the fear was still there, and I think I suppressed a lot of that fear. And
where do you think it stemmed from?
Man,
sorry, I cut you
think
off there.
no. It's a good question because it goes back to how I showed up early in the relationship, because it was like I never fully thought or felt or believed that who I am 110% was enough for a relationship. So therefore you try to seek ways and seek certain words to say to women and to get them to accept you. And it was just like, you know, you're building from a very shallow foundation. And there was a lot of work I had to do before getting into a relationship.
Why?
Well, just I never felt like I was being me. I wasn't being real. You know, it was like a lot of empty conversations and I was going along with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, you walk away from certain interactions, even if it's dating or business or getting coffee with people, and you walk away feeling like more depleted.
Were you hiding something, do you think?
Yeah, hiding a lot of insecurities, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of insecurities. Not feeling good enough.
Okay. Is that been a common theme amongst your life?
Yeah, I think someone worded this to me. They said the recurring challenges you experience in your life, they call it your karmic challenges. And I think it's something that you never fully sort of get rid of, but you experience them in various levels throughout your life. And like the self-worth thing definitely is something that I still experience. And I think the more I like level up in life and business and as a person, there's still days I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't know if like cut out for this. Am I even... Like things are happening, but it just sort of, you can't fully receive it and acknowledge it sometimes.
When you say cut out for this, is that in regard to what you're doing or?
Yeah, because it's like you have this vision in your mind of living this like playing real big. And it's like, I want to speak on the stages. I want to sell out events and I want to speak my message and change the lives of people. And it's like the person that's going to take to get there, like, am I cut out for it? Do I have the capacity to get to that? Sometimes I question it. Sometimes I doubt it.
Why?
I mean, it goes back to just takes me back to when I was, 5-year-old Ant of like, I remember I was a very big, playful ball of energy, very silly. And that's me, recording skits on my video camera and getting my neighbors into the street and directing them and be like, you stand here, you say this line, and you're sort of counting them in. And that was me playing big. And I think when I started hearing things from certain teachers or like, things weren't going well with parents at home, I started to play small because I was like, I don't feel like if I'm playing big and being silly and getting in trouble at school, it must be affecting how my parents are at home. So it's sort of like, as a kid, you learn and you take cues and you react and go, it must be me. Everything sort of revolves around you, good and bad. The bad side of that is like you blame yourself a lot. Yeah, and then you start to play small. Yeah,
I went through that a lot growing up. Especially like you feel like you're the problem.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it show up for you? And like, what were you doing where you were feeling like that big version of yourself? And
got in trouble all the time.
Yeah.
And parents sad.
Yeah.
Mum was telling a story the other day. She was crying at one meeting.
Parent-teacher meeting?
There was a time where they wanted me out of the school. Like,
was this when you were about to get expelled?
Yeah. When they wanted me out of the school, and then Mum relied on a close friend to sort of bat for me, and
yeah, okay.
It's at the end of the day, like it was probably just, I think there needs to be some. This is another conversation itself, but there were like good parts of me that just weren't harnessed, but it's hard for you to see that.
Yeah,
like I could focus on things that I like doing.
Yeah,
but when I didn't, I just fell apart.
Yeah, and like you sort of said it really well. Like you didn't know how to harness it, and no one's going to do that for you. Yeah. And if no one's seeing that, the spark in that eye when you're doing certain things that you find interest in, then you're not going to see it either. Yeah.
Chris in his 999th episode said that if you want the world to be different, you are held hostage until that change occurs. Do you remember him saying that?
Yeah. I think I screenshotted that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I've asked why a lot.
I love that question because that's how you go deep, right?
Yeah.
The world will hold you hostage until you make a change. Is that right? Something like that.
If you want the world to be different, you are held hostage until that change occurs.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking from what I said there, like you wanting to be on the stage, you all these things, there's a lack of, which isn't happening, but then your self-worth and identity is tied up in that person that whether you like it or not, the daily actions that you're doing are working towards that, but there's still that absence.
Yeah.
because it's not happening right now.
Yes.
And I think that's what got me in a bit of a rut recently,
Yeah. Okay.
is the fact that I'm doing all this work and I'm like, feel like I'm working harder than anyone, but it's not where I want it to be.
Yeah.
But then you look at, try and analyze the small things, and I've seen you talk about how you've been paid really good money to speak for 45, like all that sort of stuff really does contribute to it all. You just probably don't realize it.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you someone think of it, you don't realize it.
Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of the times I preach in conversations and workshops is like, as hard as it is like being able to carve out those pockets of time, whether you're going through your camera roll and reflecting on the last 12 months, which has been crazy for you, but you don't know that until you actually take the moment to acknowledge it and to look at it. So yeah, I think, I guess to address the Chris Williamson quote is like the change I was so desperate to see in the world was like, creativity and like playing that big version of you, or like being the loud, playful kid and wanting to do some crazy things in the world. That's celebrated instead of sort of torn down. And I guess why I say, look, I want to be on stages is because I see stages as an opportunity to amplify that message. Whether that's like, you create reels or get on IG stories or you're speaking on a physical stage. I think every day we have an opportunity to speak on a stage, whether it's a conversation, whether it's a stage like this. And I was just not seeing enough of that and not enough people that look like me doing it. So I was like, what's the only option here? Like ultimately you have to make that decision of like, you got to be the change.
Have you had questions as to whether, you even said it before, cut out for this, whether you want to keep going, whether 9 or 5 life,
it's
just the safety,
It's that fucking little whisper at your shoulder.
Yeah.
And, especially when you're going through a lot of personal challenges or like a really tough season. Like for example, when I was battling in my relationship, I could barely drag myself to my office, bro. And like a lot of my work is speaking to the camera and putting out a message of some form of inspiration and admitting that to people. And I was feeling so empty myself. How could I show up authentically and actually do that? And I went through a period where I was just talking about business and storytelling and that's fine, but it was just like there was no person behind the personal brand.
So you were talking to people and portraying or advising them to do something that you weren't doing?
Yeah, I would say there was a few coaching calls that I would get on, and there was like a lot of things that I was holding in here that I wasn't talking about because I didn't feel, I was still trying to put language and words to what I was feeling, and I didn't know how to at the time, and it was still very raw, and I would have just been trauma dumping if I had said it, and I don't regret it, but there was definitely a lot of parts that I was, again, hiding and suppressing, and it never feels good, bro, especially when you're being that person, that leader or that person in the spotlight trying to talk about that change.
Yeah, because the whole point of what you do is actually talking about it, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's where the identity piece and I've heard it. I heard, who did I heard someone talk about it before, that they were doing something that, it was, I think it was Prime Train. He was teaching people or telling people not to drink but he was actually doing it and ate him up because he was portraying and telling people to do something that he wasn't doing.
Yeah. Fractured identities. It's like sometimes you're stepping into this identity, but all you're speaking from is that identity, but it's not aligned with the identity that you're trying to portray or that you genuinely believe in. And it's just like a fracture. And it sucks because you're trying to play two different people at any given moment. It's exhausting, bro. Yeah.
Is that what you felt?
Yeah, exhausted. Wake up, minimal energy. And it's like...
What would you describe it?
Oh, fly on the wall, man. So a few weeks ago, I actually described it in front of a group of other guys, other business owners. And it was a very intimate space, so I felt safe to share it. But I was like, a memory came up when I was in the relationship, and I remember... Oh man, like, I don't know how many mornings it was, but it was a lot. Like it was the majority of the mornings I'd wake up, my partner next to me, super peaceful, super relaxed. And, she takes it slow in the sense of like, she likes to soak in the tiny moments and she likes to, be her feminine self and prance around and be calm and stuff. But every morning I'd wake up and I'd be so stressed and so frazzled and so anxious. And I would get out of bed and I wouldn't even know what I needed to do that day, but it just felt like I had to do something to feel worth like waking up for. As sad as that sounds, it was like I just had a lot of disconnection with my purpose at the time, and I would wake up and I just like, I need to do something to feel like I'm good enough to wake up right now. And why I feel really sad talking about it and why I broke down when I shared it was I just had so much regret because I was affecting, someone I cared about, someone I loved, and I was like affecting their quality of life. And it was just because of like the stress that I was like inducing within myself.
You said it well a few weeks ago, a while ago. You said any emotions we choose to suppress will eventually be felt by those around you.
See, that's bang on.
You said that.
Yeah. That's
remember
bang
that?
on. Yeah, I do remember that. And it's funny, I look back at my old post and I think I did like a 27 reflection on my 27th birthday last year, and I read it last week and I'm like, holy shit, these are like speaking to me. Yeah.
See if I can find it.
Oh, you'll definitely find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think was the main one that hit you? Can you remember?
Yeah, I think the essence of it was just like, just the more you avoid, the pain and that you're feeling, it's only going to be amplified. And I think Chris Williamson, actually said this. He was like, suffering is amplified by the amount of avoidance. So like the more you avoid your suffering, the more you're just only going to suffer. And then the more it's only going to multiply. And I was battling through that time, and I wasn't fully addressing it or talking about it. And it was just, the person closest to me copped it.
Do you feel like you've suffered a lot through your life?
Oh, I'd say yes or no. That's the challenging.
Yes or no? There's no.
I'd say, you know what?
There's only one answer.
Yeah, there is. I'll say no.
50%.
I'll say no.
50% between yes and no. Yeah. No, yes. Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Sorry.
No. I think the word suffering, it's like relative to my own experience, and no one has experienced what I've experienced. And I think it felt like suffering. It felt shit. It felt shit during that dark time. But like I get to talk about it openly with a light heart and a lot of gratitude for it now. And if I was to, if I was to call it suffering, I think I see it as two parts of the equation of like, you need the suffering to come out and have the liberation for it and to be able to talk about it and celebrate that season of life. And I know that every time I go through a chapter of suffering, on the other side of it, waiting for me is like that lightness, the lightness after you get to talk about it openly with people. And since I've accepted, the breakup and how I felt and how I showed up in it, and I get to talk about it openly with people in like one-on-one conversations like this, man, so much weight. Just like I've been carrying tension in my traps for like so long, and it's just like, even the tension that I feel in my body, it sort of just gets released every time I talk about it. And again, it goes back to why I sort of talk about like expression and like getting to express your true self and your authenticity, whether it's through work or vocation. It's like that in itself is like medicine. But I forgot to, I wasn't taking my own medicine, and I was just giving it out to others.
When you said you broke down, where do you think the emotion stemmed from?
Yeah, when I broke down, sort of reflecting on those mornings where I'd wake up just fully stressed out and anxious, I broke down because I felt so sad for myself, man. I felt so sad for Maisie, but I also felt just incredibly sad for the way I was just allowing myself to wake up each morning. It was sad because the life I've envisioned is the complete opposite. And I wasn't connecting to that vision or that life I sort of set for myself. It was like the complete opposite. It was real sad, bro.
Did you feel sorry because you thought it was your fault?
Yeah. I think a lot of the times I kept a lot of emotions to myself because I was like, it's on me. This is my shit. And it's my shit because I keep experiencing it and feeling it. So like I've got to cop it. Yeah.
You said it well. You said suffering is multiplied when you resist it.
Yeah.
How are you resisting it?
First of all, not talking about it. First of all, not truly feeling what was going on. And then what that looks like tangibly is like distractions. You start scrolling on your phone. You start letting other people's voices be louder than yourself. And you're not going with your instinct. You're not going with your gut. You're not truly having the conversations you need with yourself. So therefore, like I'll be smashing podcasts. I'll be looking at YouTube videos and everyone's saying, do this, do that, say this, say that. And then you get to a point where you're not actually being yourself. And you're just sort of like similar to what Prime Train was experiencing and describing as well. It's just like you feel like a fraud, or you just don't feel like yourself. And it's a sad reality, man. It's a sad life.
Feel like a fraud.
Yeah. Or just constantly trying to show up each day being someone you know you're not. Yeah. I think that's like one of the core life regrets that people have on their deathbed is like, I wish I did the things that made me happy or that I wanted to do.
Do you think you'll have any of them?
No. I wouldn't let myself.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Is there anything... It sounds like a lot of the things that you're hoping for and you're wanting is the absence of, though. Like, it's not happening right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I would say... again, I'll say yes or no because like... Yeah. And this is the practice that I sort of get to commit to and embody each day is like, I'm living the dream life now. And I think that's the reframe that I was sort of resisting for a long time is like, I've got the freedom right now. You know, I get paid to speak about myself and to tell my story. I work with people, they pay me to teach them the same thing. I'm living, bro. And again, it's so easy for us, like people who are like high performers or highly ambitious. It's like sometimes we forget that we're fucking, you know, the bed of roses are in front of us. The smell of the rain hitting the pavement, like that's we're living, bro. We're not in an office cooped up. Like you've got an incredible waterfront lake in front of you. And I was driving past and I'm like, that's incredible. Like I'm probably going to do a walk around there after. And I get to do that. You were asking me, what am I doing later today? I was like, bro, I've intentionally kept this day open. How fucking good is that?
Yeah, you don't realize it. You don't realize it while you're in it, how lucky you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of how, honestly, a lot of my downfall a few weeks ago was the lack of and all that sort of stuff. And it was a moment in time, I think. It wasn't too sustained, and I was still working really hard during that period. But yeah, it's just hard when you talk about ambitious, like when you talk about like where you want to be and what you want to do, none of it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when it hits.
There's a really powerful quote that I revisit every now and then, and it talks about faith, and it says faith is believing in what you cannot see yet, but the reward for faith is eventually getting to see what you always believed. And it's like that continual faith in your craft, in your work, in the mission, in the vision. Eventually it does pay off.
The faith that you will always see.
Yeah, so faith is believing in what you cannot yet see, but the reward for faith is eventually seeing what you always believed. Yeah. But that can be fucking hard.
Yeah. Especially at the start of a journey.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Does that make it easy for you to keep going then?
It does. Like that's when it goes back. It goes back to, you know, having that reflection piece of like, why are we here in the first place? Because I know for you, it's not just to, you know, go viral and get views and make money. Like you're doing it because there's an obsessive passion and drive and inspiration that you feel that you probably can't even fully describe in words, but it's that feeling and you can never ignore it. And I think even if that whisper or the flirtation for going back into the old world or to the 9 to 5, like worst case scenario, if I even have to do that, there's something in me that will never not pursue that grand vision of like, you know, that bigger version of me, the one who's not playing small.
You said it before, it wasn't a big part of your, especially emotion, wasn't a big part of your childhood. You weren't taught how to deal with it. You were rewarded for avoiding it. Do you think a lot of your actions now and how you are as a person is a result of what you went through there?
Yeah. For a long time, it was just like I was so conditioned to keeping the peace because like I'm not sure what your living situation with like parents was, but it was like my mum and dad borderline could have got divorced like 100 times. And it was like my reaction as a kid was like, oh, if I suppress that loud, cheeky, silly version of myself, that's going to help them stay together. That's all I wanted. So I was like, okay, if I keep the peace, then I'm going to get what I want, which is like my parents together. And yeah, so a lot of I guess the wiring in my brain was just like, whatever you need to do to keep the peace, whether that means like suppressing your true feelings, not talking about how you feel, what you think, that's going to serve you.
What were you actually feeling?
Feeling really sad, bro. Feeling really scared. It was like, I was a big daddy's boy growing up, and my biggest fear was, first one was dad dying, and the second one was dad and mum separating. Because I was like, well, now then mum's going to suffer, dad's going to suffer. That's a scary thought as a kid.
Were you the only child?
I was the youngest out of 2, so I have an older sister.
Okay.
But I remember even having a sibling, we're not talking about it. Like I felt like we lived separate lives. I didn't know what was going on for her. I just knew for me, it was just like, yeah, really sad.
What do you think that did to you?
What it did to me as a kid, just like that dynamic. It taught me that my emotions were, I guess, partly a problem, but there was no space for emotion. Yeah, there was no space for it because my attention was, how's my dad feeling? How's mum feeling? As long as dad's okay when he gets home from work, then I'm good.
Did that suppression, did that make it feel like you were part of the problem?
I think me suppressing meant I was removing myself from a bigger problem. Yeah. But I think when I started getting in trouble at school, being that loud, cheeky kid, being silly, there was a moment where I did believe that because I was getting, similar to you, I was getting in trouble a lot, borderline, like, not close to getting kicked out, but it was getting there. And I remember one of the teachers made a comment or gave some feedback to my parents, and they're like, you need to take him to a child psychiatrist. Something's going on. And like in hindsight, I knew that I was just reacting from what was going on at home. I wasn't happy. So I acted out. And I don't remember much. It's very blurry, but I remember going to that child psychiatrist and being in the room feeling like so alienated. Just like, why am I, almost like a confusion and anger of like, why am I fucking here? But that moment sort of, I don't know, it sort of planted a seed of like, maybe something is wrong with me. Yeah. So then I really stepped back.
Do you think your life has been almost trying to prove that question that you asked yourself, prove that there's nothing wrong with you? Or something? What did you say? Is something wrong with you?
Yeah, I asked the question.
Yeah.
I asked that question to myself.
Is something wrong with you? Do you reckon your life is like, I'm trying to, because I was sort of feeling it away as well. Like there was the, unfortunately I've had a lot of people in my life doubt me, and it builds up like a screw everyone else mentality, and just like, I'll show you.
Yeah. And
yeah, I think what you said before was interesting as well about people sort of fading away. Like he's still doing that? Of course I am. You just watch.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things, I remember someone said to me, in my early journey when I had like 4 episodes. You can't do that. Or you'll never be that big. And I was like, come on, mate, you got to be realistic. And I was like,
you got to be realistic. Classic.
Just watch.
Classic.
Just watch. Just, you don't know. And then that's as an adult. That's not as a kid.
Yeah.
But that's just an example of like the comments that I got growing up.
Do you think, how much of a driver is that right now for you? Yeah.
The drive is the belief that it'll work out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm the same.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say there was maybe a 2 to 3 year window, early 20s. Like I carried that anger and that resentment.
It's not saying that it's not there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
But it's
not your core
not,
fuel.
Like I'm not staying up at night for that.
Yeah.
You know, not losing sleep for that.
Yeah.
I'm losing it for someone else.
Yeah.
Which is the belief.
Yeah.
But if anything, those things are good. Like I'm not saying that they're bad. And I think there's a commonality between people that have an obsession. I think I saw it the other day. They were like, your belief, if people don't understand what you're trying to achieve, then it's good because it's different.
Yeah.
You just got to believe.
Yeah. I think anyone who's trying to do something for the first time, like how much flack do they cop? It's because you're trying to do something that's never been seen before.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like people fear newness and change because it's like, it's almost like an attack on their belief system and their identity.
I think we're taught to play it safe.
Of course, bro. Especially in Australia, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the world, we're getting a different topic here, but in 5 years is going to be very different. The people that are playing it safe right now are the ones that will be like, I can't get a job.
Yeah.
That's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah. That's I've been down that rabbit hole.
So you said 4 weeks ago. What do you think has been the lowest point throughout the past 4 weeks?
Oh, it's
still recent, man. I didn't know it was that recent.
No, it's all good, bro. It was laying on my living room floor, bro. Empty house, alone with your thoughts, and it's just like grieving. Just like physically just feels like, just like a part of you's been taken away. And then it's just been like, why? Like you should be in a relationship feeling whole and full. But I think I gave a lot of myself to it and lost myself along the way. And it was sort of that sadness again of just like, how did I let myself do that? Yeah.
You blame yourself for it?
Not anymore, but there was a large chunk even before it ended. A lot of blame, bro.
What are you feeling when you're looking up at the ceiling?
What am I feeling? I'm envisioning and putting myself third person in some of those moments when it was really low. Yeah.
No, but what are you thinking when you're looking up? What are you saying to yourself in those moments?
Oh, in those moments, just to feel shit, and I don't know when it's going to end. Like sometimes when you get swept up in such a heavy, challenging time, sometimes you think like, this is my life, but it's not. It's just like a moment in time, like you said. But I think why it was so challenging is because like I've got this tendency to lock myself away from the world, isolate myself, not reach out to, people I consider brothers, and that's so important. I think especially for men right now in the modern world is like having that core circle of like even maybe just 1 or 2 or 2 to 3 other men that you can call on for support, and they'll just hold you in the shit and not say you're a bitch, you're a pussy. They just be like, I see you, bro. I see you as that bigger version that I've always seen in you. And
why do you think you're doing that, or why do you think you do that?
Just honestly, man, going back to childhood, how I would manage and navigate my emotions was to literally put myself in mum and dad's wardrobe and lock myself away.
Why are you doing that when your line of work, I guess, doesn't portray that?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing of like, that is my mission and my message, but the ongoing work and the ongoing work as part of that is to make sure I'm taking my own medicine and not letting it stretch on for as long as it needs. It doesn't need to be that long.
Is that hard to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Like imagine if you one day was like, I'm going vegan. There's going to be a bit of like well, what's going on here? You preach steak, right? Like it'll be confusing for you, but also people looking from the outside in. Yeah.
If that ever happens, just come and help me. I got to the point where I was done holding onto this belief that my struggles were so unique, and that was just the old version of me grasping to stay invisible. As someone who always preaches about owning your story and expressing yourself fully, myself more than anyone had to learn to take his own medicine. And there's no shame in that, as much as you may trip yourself into that. It ain't true.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like Carl Jung, famous psychologist, psychiatrist, he talks about the shadow and the light side. And I think with every good part of ourselves, there's equally a contrast and a shadow. And it's all about owning both. And I don't think, life is so up and down and so unpredictable. There's going to be seasons where you're not going to be feeling like that light, bigger side of you. But it also doesn't mean to fully tear down the dark times as well. It's like being able to fully embrace both.
What do you think's your biggest uncertainty at the moment?
It's not so much as intense right now, but it's being able to rebuild myself to where I was waking up and I couldn't wait to speak on camera. I couldn't wait to talk to people, couldn't wait to coach clients. And it's been a long while since I've felt so deeply, called or passionate to do that.
What's the biggest trouble you have right now?
Oh, right now? Because honestly, man, business has been on like a hold. So like finances.
Yeah.
And I think, and it's one of those like dirty topics because no one really wants to talk about it, but it's like, it's really important. You're a one person ship and like you got to pay bills. It was just winter. There was like a big hefty power bill after winter. And it's like, who's copping that? You. And like, you've got to make sure you can figure it out. And even if, even if it means your priorities have to shift in a certain way, like you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah, you put up a story about navigating grief and business, I think. Yeah. I think it was, where is it? You describe, I think I wrote down the actual.
I remember, well, it was.
What's been your experience navigating grief alongside work and business?
Is that the question for me?
Well, that's what you said.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good one for you as well.
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said, I haven't had a direct experience with death, like physical death with like, some people have it with parents or a loved one or a best mate. I've never had that. And I guess the end of a relationship, that was my first real experience with feeling grief. And like it's a really heavy emotion. And I think a lot of people feel like they have to take it upon themselves to go through that, and you can actually reach out and talk to people about it. And I think as like business owners or entrepreneurs, we have this tendency to make sure we're hyper independent and self-reliant. So reaching out to someone and asking for support, it's foreign or it feels yucky. And I think for me, like I coach other people and it like sometimes it feels like you're undermining yourself and you're showing the kinks in your armor when really that's only going to deepen the connection with your audience and your clients.
You spoke about it as the death of identity. Was that from a future version of yourself that you knew wouldn't happen anymore?
Yeah, it's like whenever you have to end a relationship, a business relationship, I've done that, intimate relationship, a friendship, there's almost the grieving process of, the death of what that relationship, what you envisioned that relationship to be in your mind. Yeah.
It's a hard one. I've never been through like a proper relationship.
Yeah.
And I think, the fear of commitment and all that sort of stuff. There's some other things there probably as well. But I suspect it might be an issue.
Why?
Well, I suspect that anyone coming into my life is probably wanting or would have hoped that I've been through,
right?
Something with a girl, like heartache or heartbreak or whatever, so that when I know I've settled in, or just to know what it's been.
Yeah, just like the life experience.
Yeah. But I've never, like, I've been, like, when I was in my early 20s, I was traveling heaps. I never wanted to commit to anyone. And
Yeah.
I don't know, potentially that might change. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, where does it fall on your radar or the timeline? Because I feel like for you, and I love the curiosity because you tend to ask relationship questions with other guests and I always get some insight from it. But is that sort of like later down the track for you, or is it sort of
Yeah, I'm not sure. In regard to like me settling
committing?
down. Yeah. I mean, I know it needs to happen. There is not one part of me that thinks that I would be a better person being single. Every part of me knows that I would be a better person with a partner, which is funny.
Yeah.
Someone that can... Yeah, look, at the moment right now, I'd be a pretty horrific partner.
Yeah.
So like it's about finding someone that accepts that what I'm doing right now will require a season of sacrifice.
Yeah. It's important you know that now as well, bro. Because the last thing you want is to meet someone, fall in love with them, and then you wake up one day and you're like, holy shit, like I'm offsetting my mission and my work and the thing that gives me life to something. And it's not their fault, but that's what happens.
I saw a quote. It said, grief is the last act of love we can give to those we loved. Where there is deep grief, there was a great love.
Yeah. Yeah. The beautiful thing that I came out from the breakup is like, man, I love deeply. Yeah. Like that's something I learned from that relationship, because that was my first committed relationship. I was like, I've got the capacity to love. I didn't know that. Yeah.
How did you find that out?
Well, just like, again, like giving myself some bloody credit. Like, you know, there was times where I was a shit partner, but there was times when I was like an amazing partner. And more often than not, I'd like to think I was an amazing partner. And it ended amicably. And I think I always wanted to be that person getting out of any relationship and we can say good things about each other more than the bad things.
You said it was eating away at you. That's a hard place to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the time, like leading up to the breakup, just, eating away at me. Because imagine loving something so much and that thing hurting and like expressing their pain by being with you. Sucks. Sucks. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think there's a period of lying on the floor wondering what you're doing coming up, or do you think you're in a good spot now?
I think I'm in a good spot now. Yeah. I think I let an extra week in for that, and I got to the end of that week where I'm like, I'm done. I think I'm good.
You think that's important so the fact you said business is on pause as well?
It was on pause. Now we're coming back in.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, so you actually accepted and acknowledged that you needed to actually be in a place of, what's the word? Place of like recovery almost.
Yeah. I sort of accepted that I'm going to go through a period where it's going to get really touchy and edgy when it comes to business, finances, and I've got to brace for that, right? And but it was also like, I don't want to rush the recovery process, you know? Like you don't rush rehab if you're an athlete because you only just get injured again, and I didn't want to do that. Yeah.
Why do you feel the need to hide it? Because you were saying everyone has their own shit going on. I've battled silently, ton of insecurity, ton of questioning around self-worth. Yeah. Going through a period of suffering. Like why, first of all, why did you feel the need to share it, and why do you think it took so long?
Yeah, because when I say like it was that old part of me just grasping to be invisible and to hide, it's like, hiding has always been that form of safety for me. Hiding my parents' wardrobe, not saying how I really felt or what I was really thinking. It was safe because you're not causing any disruption or conflict. But fuck that, bro. Like I don't want to live that life. If I'm going to hurt a few people's feelings along the way, but it means that I'm standing in my truth and being fully myself, like I'm going to live with that. I'm going to be okay with that.
Is that if there's anything that you teach, is that the one thing that you would try and attempt to portray, is that the power in being yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's simple, it's not easy. And that's what I mean, where it's like you don't just live a life 100% 24/7 where you're just constantly, you know, authentic or truthful or honest. Everyone's going to battle fear and doubt. And sometimes you're going to lean into that side of you more than the other side. But it's, again, having that compassion and being like, I'm human. I'm going to fuck up. You know, I'm not always going to be the best partner. I'm not always going to be, you know, constantly switched on or healthy. But it's that challenge for me of just like having that compassion to be like, it's okay. You're just going through a moment in time.
What's your advice to anyone that is in that state of mind and feels like you, whether like, is this going to end? Wondering whether it's going to end, sorry.
Yeah. It will end, but it's simply just a chapter. And it's like there's always a beginning and ends. And again, the more you avoid it, the more you suppress it, the more you resist your suffering or that emotion, it's only going to get amplified. And I think you do not have to wait for a breakdown or a breakup to decide on the type of person you want to be for the next chapter of life. And I sort of kept turning the page, drawing out this like long chapter that should have ended, you know, a while before.
You said it was 12 months.
2 years together, but there was like that last 12 months was a real grind.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
You comfortable talking about why?
Fear, bro. It's like,
But like, why could it have ended earlier?
yeah.
Should it have?
Maybe it happened the way it did, but I think it's like, for me, I can speak for myself. It's like two people come together, you're in love, you're attached, and it's an attachment you've never experienced before. And it's just like every bone iota in me was just like, you got to make it work. You can do it. You can solve it. Like, this is what love is. I didn't know what love was, but I thought it's like you'll do anything to keep it going. But I think, like, I used to have a really negative outlook on divorce, but like, if it means you guys are no longer suffering and bring your kids into it, it's like, well, that's an option, you know? Otherwise, again, it's like, what was the quote we were talking about? If you keep it in, if you keep your emotions in, it only bubbles up and affects the people around you.
Yeah, what is it? Any emotions produced suppressed will eventually be felt by those around you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a long time as well.
Yeah. It is. And I've found a lot of solace and peace talking about it with other people, because, you know, it's like, it takes one to be vulnerable for the other person to feel safe to do it. And like, people have shared their breakup stories of like 7 years in a relationship. You know, that's like a quarter or a third of our life right now.
The truth is, us humans gravitate towards authenticity, trust people who own their mistakes, show support for people's vulnerability. Yes, there is heaps of upside in showing your wins, but also people want to see your struggles and hear from your mistakes. It's where the most valuable lessons lie, along with more trust and deeper connection. Own your F-ups. Fuck-ups.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I put out a post maybe over a year ago. I was like, underrated business strategy is sharing your fuck-ups. Yeah.
I think that was from the post.
Yeah, okay.
And I think you talked about how you got fired from a job or something.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't write that bit down. And then you served plastic or something. And
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hungover. I was like in my gap year trying to save up money and rocked up like early morning shift at a cafe, and I was just out of it. And like this, I was making an acai bowl and they come in these plastic slips. I didn't remove the plastic slip, chucked it in the blender, served it, thought it was all good. And then I get called back and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Never doing that again.
I think that is, and it's funny when you hold things in, and I'm assuming the response to you actually talking and coming out. What's it called? Like actually talking about how you're feeling and stuff. I'm assuming you got a lot of people reaching out. Yeah.
Dude. I haven't spoken about it, but yeah, the amount of DMs, but not just the amount of DMs, it's like the depth of the DMs I've got from people. It's like, bro, I've been going through something similar. Oh man, respect. This is why I respect you. This is why I followed you from 3 years ago. And it was honestly just a beautiful mirror back to me of like, this is why it's so important for me to do stuff like this. First of all, I did it for me, but it's like the ripple effect that it has on other people. And it's like the ripple effect you have with people on this podcast. Like I know a lot of you guests have spoken about things they've never spoken about to their best mates, parents, to, you know, to anyone. But it's like these conversations bring a lot of healing for us, but also the people that get to tune into it.
Is there anything that we haven't spoken about today that you haven't spoken about with other people before that you'd want to share?
Oh, got chills, bro. I think to your credit, we've spoken about a lot of things I didn't think we are going to touch on, but driving here, I was like, I'm prepared to cry like a motherfucker today. I'm prepared to smile. I'm prepared to feel whatever I need to feel. And I think we've touched on a lot of good things, but I think there's not a lot of things I've kept in that I've been feeling for the past 6 to 12 months. It's been really messy navigating it, but I think I feel like I've definitely turned the corner.
What would you tell to yourself at the lowest point?
It's funny because it would almost be me talking to the younger version of myself. And the lowest point when I was just like sobbing and just so much pain, just going like,
When you were younger? Or?
Well, when I was like, you know, dark moments from the last 12 months.
Okay.
Like when I was like really sobbing, it was just like almost, as weird as it sounds, almost having this out of body experience, looking at me and just being like, you're okay. Or just like almost speaking to that younger version of me who felt like he had to hide himself to express his emotion. I would just be like, your emotions are valid. Like it's okay. And there's space for it. Yeah. Your emotions aren't a problem.
Are you glad the little you went through what he went through?
Yeah.
Is it hard to look back on sometimes?
I've looked back on it quite a bit, and I've had a lot of conversations with him more often.
With him?
Yeah, with that younger version of me.
Okay.
And
what are you saying?
I'm just saying, like, it's almost like it's the lack of what I'm saying, which is the most powerful. It's actually getting to almost revisit those times where I felt so alone and was just like really emotional. And it's almost like I picture myself sitting with him, and as powerful as it is, it's just like almost me putting a hand on the back of my hand on his back and just like letting him know that I'm there for him.
Do you feel alone still sometimes?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Misunderstood?
Yeah. I think one of the core needs for every human, especially for myself, is just like wanting to be understood. But I think sometimes when you're pursuing something so big and so different, like being misunderstood is like the common theme.
Is that because it feels so far away, or what is it? Just no one understands it.
Yeah, no one understands it.
Yeah.
And until you show up time and time again and people can actually go, oh, so that's why Darcy's doing that. Oh, I can see how it's beyond just cooking steak and eating steak. And then they start to understand it.
That's the hard part to show, though.
Yeah, for sure. Why do you think it's been hard for you?
Reframe that. What do you mean?
Well, it's simple. You're the steak lad. Your brand is steak.
Yeah.
You love steak. Where do you still feel misunderstood with what you're doing?
I don't think no one, and it's hard to portray, and not that I want to portray it, but no one really understands what I've done.
Yeah. And what it takes day in, day out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I would say that probably 99% of people that I follow, the people that follow me, probably don't know that I have this.
No.
So it's like, it's exactly what you said before. I think you said something about everyone has their own shit going on that no one sees.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of stuff going on that no one really understands. And I'm not saying like every video is like this. There's a lot of people that put time and effort into videos and they just don't realize how long it's actually taken.
Yeah.
But probably the thing that I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me to say because I feel like every day is sort of getting. I just feel like everything that, I think the worst place I can be is understanding or thinking that I'm deserving of something just because I've done this or I've got this platform. But like I've never had anyone come into my life that from a supportive perspective and say, oh, unless they've spoken to me, I think, and said, oh, that it all makes sense now, you know? And there's a part of me that thinks, oh, why isn't a big brand coming in and saying we're just going to help him and support him? But at the same note, I'm like, I'm not craving that. It's not keeping me up at night.
Yeah.
It's probably just like the misunderstood part is like people don't understand like the real me. Because I'm sort of, and that's sort of why I'm leaning into long form. But even then, are you being the real you when you're worried about lighting, you're worried about angles, you're worried about whether the microphone's working, you're about whether the camera's overheating.
Yeah.
You know, like it'd be great for me to just come into these conversations and not worry about anything else going on. You see me looking down to see if the podcast is still, the audio is still working, you know? It'd be great to just come in and just like not have it, because I unfortunately, I mull over those things sometimes during a conversation.
Yeah.
Because there's so much, I think I am my true self in these conversations, but there's just, there are some external factors that make it, you know, fully hard because you saw me before with the cameras and making sure everything's perfect. It's just, my brain's a bit of a maze sometimes.
Is there a part of you that wishes people could understand that side?
I think about, or I battle with the fact that, you know, there are probably people who have done less conversations than I have that have a structure and a system that are way bigger.
Right.
You know, but doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I know that what I'm trying to do is different.
Yeah.
And I know that the focus on a few things is probably limiting the growth for one thing, which would perhaps make it easier to grow everything. But I don't want to slow down. Yeah. I don't want to stop anything that I'm doing. But then sometimes I went to an entrepreneur thing the other day and there was a group of people and the most successful person there said that the biggest downside to people's growth that he taught, because he was a business coach, he multiple. He's the big in terms of revenue, like the biggest out of everyone. He said the biggest detriment to growth is distraction.
Yeah.
So he was like, find something that is the biggest quote unquote cash cow for you and just give that at your all and don't do anything else. But for me to do that, I don't know. I don't think I could. You talk about regret and wondering what could have been. There's always going to be that thing if I give up anything that I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel that?
Feel what specifically?
Do you think there's part of your or what you do that could be bigger than what it is, but you're not giving the time?
Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah. I've had 2 corporate gigs sort of gone ghost on me that I thought were just going to go through, like just running workshops for a few teams in some city councils. And I'm like, the feeling I had from that is like, what if I didn't have to depend on those 2 things? Like I should have 5 in the tank ready to go, you know? So yeah, part of me is like, yeah, I should be doing more. And I remember I had this sobering conversation that smacked me in the face from my best mate. And he never sugarcoats, never bullshits me. And he turns to me one day and he's just like, Ant, bro, like, why are you not bigger than what you are right now? Like, I don't get it.
What was the answer?
It stumped me, bro. I was like, right in that moment, I was just like, I'm spending too much time with doubt, too much time with fear and allow myself to get distracted by that.
We might have spoken about it, but what do you think that stemmed from?
Well, it's like if I run a virtual workshop or a webinar and only 3 register, I'm like, oh shit, like that's bad. And it's just like reframing of that of like, there's 3 people in there committing their time in their evening to learn from you and be close to you. Give them your all. Give them your 110%. There's 3 human beings ready to commit to you right now. Give them your all. But it's like,
so the doubt and the fear that you had was that you were putting yourself out there to do something and it wasn't getting the response you would hope for.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like that is the game. That like, I think the lesson for me in this season of business is like, and life, even relationships, is like, how okay can I be with the best case scenario happening and also the worst case scenario? Can I be at peace with both? Like if my relationship was stripped away or the business was completely stripped away from me tomorrow, would I be okay? The honest answer is probably it would suck. Like I'd probably go through a bit of like a shit period. But it's like my big part of my work is like getting to a point where I'm actually okay with it shit hitting the fan or it going the way I need to be.
I heard something the other day. It said the difference between people who make it and those who don't is someone's willingness to basically accept where they are or be in a position or a mindset of, I need to find the exact quote, but it was like, basically if there's a lack of something, to be in a good mood about it, to be in a good, I'll get the exact quote.
Yeah, get it up.
To be in a good mood about Alex Hormozy. Because I don't want to butcher the yeah, here we go. This is it. It hits you right in the face.
Yeah.
The single greatest skill you can develop is the ability to stay in a great mood in the absence of things to be in a great mood about.
Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah. Yeah.
I just drawed that on for about 10 hours longer than it needed to be, but
it pushes buttons because it's like,
yeah.
how often do you experience that? Because I experience it a lot.
In regard to, was that a question to me?
It's sort of rhetorical, but I'm sure like it slaps you in the face because it hits something.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like so many times over the past few months that have just been like, holy shit, like what is going on? You know?
Yeah.
Like when you're like hallucinating because you're so tired.
Yeah.
Serious.
That's insane.
Yeah. I bet that's happened regularly.
Yeah.
But then you're like, do I want to go back to the office? I think a lot of my, and potentially your willingness to push through that stuff is fear. But I also don't think that's a good place to be. Like the fear that it won't work out, the fear that you won't get to where you are destined for, the fear that your friend was saying, well, why are you not bigger?
Yeah.
The fear that you won't get to where you feel like you deserve you need to be.
Yeah. 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 I mean, like staying in that state of mind or that frame of thinking, it's like, that's not going to serve you. No. Yeah. It doesn't serve me. And I think the nice reframe that happens for me is like that conversation we had when you were cooking the ribeyes of like, bro, look at the level of challenges we're going through right now. Like the quality of challenges, I should say. Like your challenge right now is how to take your video from 90% great to 110%. And it's like, that's something you would have dreamed of in the real estate office. The fact that I can, I could launch an offer right now, won't even have to create anything physical. I could literally just like put out maybe like a mini course and potentially like make money from something I get to create and talk about from my expertise and my experience. That's something I always dreamed of. The fact that I can just record an Instagram story and like catch up with someone that I've wanted to speak to. I could probably do that. I've got the connections off the back of like the constant willingness to push through that fear. But it's like, these are the challenges we've dreamed of, bro. Like, how good?
Do you have any fears at the moment?
Honestly, right now, no. Like, I think the belief outweighs the fear right now. The belief that it's just like, I don't know what's going to happen later today. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but it's like, it's going to work out.
How do you get there?
Going through the shit, going on the dark side, wallowing in it for a bit, and then realizing that it's like, okay, that's done. Like, that served me. I don't need that anymore.
Have you had conversations about how you get to the next level or thoughts?
Yeah.
Do you know what it looks like?
Yeah, I think for me, it's going back to, and I was sort of talking about it to you, going back to a place where content doesn't feel so rigid, doesn't feel like I'm suppressing parts of myself. It's like every day, if I can show up, record a workshop, record a YouTube video, or talk on Instagram stories, and for it to feel effortless and flowful, like, that's going to take me to where I need to go. Because I know for a fact, during seasons in business, when I was in that place, I felt unstoppable. Signing clients was just like, I could lift a finger and it felt like they came to me because I was like magnetic. Yeah. When you're in that place, in that state, I'm sure you've experienced this where you just feel so alive.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop you. Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, things flow in your life that you otherwise wouldn't have. Or you're just like, wow, that happened.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, that happened again. Oh shit, it's how it keeps happening.
Yeah. And the cool thing is you don't second guess it.
Yeah.
Whereas like someone who's probably in a pessimistic, negative mindset, they go, oh, that's a fluke.
Yeah.
Surely that can't happen again.
Yeah, I spoke to someone the other day that his videos get really, really like go mega. It was that meat hanger guy.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I was like, dude, what does it feel like? And he's like, I'm just used to it, man. You know, like he's got 11 million views on one reel, and the week after it's like 10. You know, like 156,000 forwards or something, like shit. It's like fucking crazy numbers.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm just used to it, man. That's how it is. Like, I'm just used to it, and I turn the notifications off and just let it do its thing, you know. But I don't. Yeah, every part of me when I used to look at people, and I feel like that whenever I compare myself and look at, what's the quote where it's like, you 12 months ago would kill to be in the position you are right now, but probably the person that you are in, or the mindset you're in right now wants to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And my housemate said it well the other day. It's like, no matter where you go, like there will always be something else. And I wrote in a LinkedIn post the other day, accepting or acknowledging peace of mind is probably the best place you can be about where you're going. Because there will always be new things. I suspect in 12 months there will be new things that I didn't even foresee. That I'm dealing with, that I'd kill to be accepting or dealing with right now, but I'm not. Powerful, yeah.
Like, just how, it's just constant iteration and revisiting that place of like, how can we be okay and at peace with right now? Yeah.
Is there anything we haven't spoken about today that you'd want to touch on?
It's not necessarily about me, but it's actually about you. But if there's anything that you feel, any stones left unturned.
It's been an hour and 20, mate.
Hour and 20?
Yeah.
Jesus. How long do these usually go for?
Around there?
Yeah.
That was smooth though. That went quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, look, you've never done a solo episode, right? And I always tell you, and I always give you feedback via text of like, bro, good combo. And then I'm like, sometimes, the guest was a little bit, but good, still good structure. And I feel like I've got the honor and the privilege to get a little bit of insight into the behind the scenes and to understand, this shit's not easy.
No.
Yeah. And there's a lot of admiration, and your ability to put people in the spotlight, create the space for them to share and revisit their story, like that shit lights me up. That's a big part of my work. And it's like, of course I want to support you. I don't have a lot today, but I prepared 2 photos.
Okay.
And I just want to get a live. This could be off. This could be like.
No. Let's show it.
I'm not sure if you've seen these before, but I had a
How did you find that? You went on Facebook?
no. Have you seen this before?
Yeah.
So there's like so many sides of Darcy that I didn't even know, and probably a lot of people don't know.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The glory days.
The glory days.
Yeah.
Like you were a killer apparently in the nippers and the surf life saving.
Yeah, that's very interesting how you got that. I don't know how you got that.
Yeah. And then it's like, is this your first job or your
Yeah, that was Macca's.
Macca's?
I don't know how did you get them? You know that to say?
Well, how do you get the photos from other guests? What
Instagram. I go through Instagram.
But then sometimes do you I feel like you go the extra
I
miles.
go the extra. Yeah, I dig pretty deep.
Yeah.
On Google. So you just did that.
No. I went to the source, bro.
Mum and dad.
Mum.
Really?
Yeah.
You found mum?
Yeah.
Really?
So easy.
Yeah, of course.
She's got a business page.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
And I guess the question I have for you, and it could also be a conversation for me as well, is like we talk about, our early experiences with jobs and 9-to-5s and work. And it's like a lot of the times we just, our first casual jobs, we sort of been there, done that, forget about it. But I think every experience that we go through, whatever vocation, or I feel like there's always an experience that we take and compound into what we're doing right now. So like the question for you is like looking at the nippers and looking at the McDonald's job is like, what do you think you've taken from those experiences into what you're doing now? Any
Macca's.
skills, any experiences?
I said the other day that I wish I'd found what I do sooner,
Okay.
but everything in my life has happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Macca's was just Macca's was just my first job. But there was that resentment there as well from, I got in trouble there a lot as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Nippers was, it's a good question, man. See, I look back on those things and for some reason I see the bad that came out of them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've always I remember there was some flag sessions that we did, and one of the mums used to always put the flag further away from me. And I got in trouble at I got accused of bullying one time. So I don't have too many good memories from all that stuff, but I think what I'm trying to say is that whilst I wish I'd found what I do sooner, if I didn't do the pool lifeguarding, if I didn't get fired from Macca's, I wouldn't have landed at the pool lifeguarding job.
Yeah.
If I didn't do the pool lifeguarding job, I wouldn't have met the boxing coach. If I didn't do boxing, I wouldn't have developed the eating habits. If I stopped boxing and if I didn't stop boxing, I wouldn't have gone to uni. Because I went to uni. I went on exchange. Because I went on exchange, I developed, or that fear of the overeating and everything came back. And then that eventually got into the steak.
Yeah.
So just trust the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust the process. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
But that's good work from you. That's very good work from you. Yeah.
She had a lot more stories, but I thought I'd save it.
Like what?
Oh, just like, have you been to Alice Springs?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your experience in Alice Springs? Do you remember a bus full of young ladies screaming out to you?
Yeah, they were screaming out at me. There's a lot, man. There's a lot that I've done and gone through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm yet to understand why I do what I do.
Mm.
And I'd like to understand it one day. But I know that what I've got is something that some people don't, or a lot of people don't. And that's where the belief comes from.
Yeah.
And it stemmed from a lot of, there hasn't been anything in my life that without effort and like an incredible work rate, I haven't been able to do. You know, so we'll see where it takes me, man.
Yeah.
I
It's only
appreciate
the
you doing
start.
that.
It's only the
That's so
start.
good. I was like, did you go on Facebook for that?
Nah, bro.
Yeah, that's so good.
Take a leaf out of your book.
Yeah. Well, you listened to a few, man, back, what, I think you're like 84 or something. I'm going to do a solo one at 100.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Keen for that. I think a lot of people will be looking forward to that, bro.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't get too crazy amount of listens, but we'll see. Hopefully by 100, I'm a bit bigger. Yeah. All good, man. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
So good. That was great, man. Love that. Love that from you. What did Mum say?
I called her Friday night.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope I didn't get you at a bad time, but I just want to ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Going to be really random. And she was like, oh man, I got a ton of stories. I'm not sure if you'll be happy if I shared this or.
Yeah.
So she didn't share too many photos with me, but she was just talking pretty much. Your obsessive nature makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Just like your upbringing, even her upbringing, like how she raised you. It's like there was a lot. Like, did you know this? So you were born. Like I think like the first 7 minutes you weren't breathing.
Yeah. Of course I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you know like why that was?
The umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. I
Dude.
think. Yeah.
So same situation with me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I happened to wrap the umbilical cord around my neck.
Yeah.
And I turned yellow. Like it was that restricted.
Yeah.
So mum was like freaking out. She went down this whole thing and it's like, but again, if we kept connecting the dots backwards, if that didn't happen, mum wouldn't have been so like conscious and health wise around you. She wouldn't have been checking the ingredients for everything. And then you got diagnosed with asthma and that.
Yeah. Which gone.
Which is gone, right?
From the health stuff. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that would have also been maybe a bit overbearing and really strict for you as a kid, which is fine. But like even that, like those little connections have led to where you're at right now.
Yeah. The obsession is insane.
Yeah.
But it's like what you said before about how you don't realize how it affects those around you.
Yeah.
Like that was me a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then housemate yesterday was like, dude, you're back.
Yeah, because like obviously that would have rubbed off somewhere with your housemates. What do you think they was like?
It was just shit around the house.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, dude, you look like a fucking alien.
That's right, yeah.
But like, you know, like late night filming, leaving stuff around the house, just mess, you know, just not my normal self. And perhaps the quality of the conversation, the willingness to sit and not like be on my phone and worried about what's, you know, how many fucking subscribers I have.
Yeah.
You know, I do think about that a lot, but, you know, I don't let it govern me.
Do you, when he, because I remember you said it on the phone when we spoke as well, when he said that, oh, you look like an alien or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that like were you like, oh shit, I need to change? Or was it just like building up?
I just, the next day, I think I had like 3 nights where I had like 5 hours sleep or something.
Yeah.
You know, so like the next day was when I like hit a wall.
Yeah.
But I kept pushing through it. Like I had a 9 p.m. Like at 9 p.m., I finished up everything and I had a 45-minute nap and I stayed up till 1.
Yeah.
You know, a nap at 9 p.m. Like, what the that's ridiculous. Sometimes I do it to get to 12, just like because I got so much to do.
Yeah.
I'll have a 10-minute power nap at like 11 p.m. It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I've never said that before actually, but I did it last night. At like I think it was, and I do it at even numbers. So like I think at 11:08 p.m. and then I set the timer for 11:20 because it's like even, you know.
Yeah, is that just like OCD type of thing?
I've got OCD like 100%. Like even when I export things, it needs to be on an even number.
Oh, like the time limit?
Yeah, when I export, if it's 2059,
yeah.
I need to drag it out another 0.01.
Yeah.
I'm like super like that. Just the small things like the spacing and all that sort of stuff. But I heard Chris Williamson say, I've made a career out of noticing things that most people don't.
Steven says, sweat the small stuff.
Yeah,
That's been a
100%.
big part of his success.
Yeah.